This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be checking out The Other Side of Desire by Rickie Lee Jones.
And Pageant material from Kacey Musgraves.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Music Worth Buying. My name's TJR. I am a musician and a music writer.
And my name is Robert Kinsler, and I'm a music writer and a musician.
And so we, of course, scour the world for new music that we're excited by so we can share it with you here. I'm going to start out here today with the latest album by Rickie Lee Jones. It's called The Other Side of Desire. This is the first album of all original material that she's done in quite a while. I'll be honest, her previous album, which was an album of covers called The Devil You Know, I was not real impressed with. It was the first time I actually felt disappointed by a release by her. And of course, if you know me, you know I've been a big fan of hers ever since her first album. In fact, one of my in-depth analysis shows I did for the new channel here was her debut album. And you can, I'll put a link for that, so if you want to check out that in-depth analysis of her debut solo album. But I am happy to say that I was much, much more pleased with this album of original material here. This album was heavily influenced by her move to New Orleans. She moved to New Orleans and she felt that the entire music scene greatly influenced it, and you can certainly hear that on a lot of the songs on this album. So I'm going to go ahead here and going to play a track here for you. This is the opener. It's called Jimmy Choo's. It's a pleasant song with serious lyrics about the adversity of life, but it's also about how you can find pleasure in just simple material things. Here we go.
Just show them the house there. They're gonna love that. Show us the house there. And those Jimmy Choo's, the Jimmy Choo's.
Now, this was my first time hearing anything off this album, so and as we both know, I like to usually listen to something a few times if I can, but first listen, very much like it, and it makes me want to hear more.
Good, yeah. Now, something I will say here, we were talking earlier that the music of New Orleans had a big influence, and in fact, such an influence that even there was one musician that she worked with, she met him and his wife, and she wrote a song based on their relationship called The Lover's Oath, which is a song about, undying love. And she felt I can tell by the lyrics, she felt they had this sort of undying love. It's it's lyrically just amazing. It has that kind of New Orleans sound to it. And lyrically it's just incredibly beautiful. Sorry we won't be able to get to it here because I did pick another song for my second track, but hopefully that makes you want to go and listen to it. There's always been, of course, the jazz influence with Rickie Lee Jones, which offers a certain amount of sophistication to the musical arrangements as well. I think in many respects, lyrically, songs like this come the closest to her earliest work as far as lyrical content. Now, packaging-wise, this comes in a gatefold digipack here, and actually, I should say it's a trifold here, digipack. So here we are. There's the exterior. Here is the interior. And I think actually this is probably, out of all her CD releases, this is probably one of the most beautiful looking of all of her CD releases that I've ever seen. She did a Kickstarter campaign, or pledge music, to be able to finance the album. That's how she's done her last few albums, is with pledge campaigns, Kickstarter campaigns. She brings that up in the liner notes and even names the patrons, a lot of the patrons here on the final sleeve here. Packaging wise, nice booklet. A lot of nice photos, all the lyrics. Lyrics are fairly easy to read, but overall, nice looking package here. So I like that. Throughout her career as a songwriter, Rickie Lee Jones has kind of had this knack for capturing kind of the innocence of youth, but also contrasting that with some of the heartbreak and loss or grittiness of adult life. And like I said before, on this album, she captures a lot of that again with this album. And I'm going to feature a track now that is my personal favorite, one of my personal favorites on this album, and it's quite different from the rest of the album. It's a track called Infinity. So here we go. Infinity.
'Cause this is where we've always been. It will always come again. It hasn't even happened. We're here and in infinity. Infinity.
You know, I like that song even more than the first one you played.
good.
Yeah, it just takes you to a place, like you said, there's jazz stylings in there, pop, art, art music, just it just really transformative. You just feel like you're transported to a magical place, and you just kind of want to see what is she singing about and stuff. Just really makes you want to know more and experience the song. It's great.
Good. I would say even the song, I would even classify the song as transcendent.
Yeah.
In many respects. She's kind of juxtapositioning just tiny, mundane occurrences, just things that happen
Everyday life,
with against this idea of what we consider to be the universe, what we
Yeah.
consider to be infinity.
Yeah, like
And
who
this-
are we? Where are we going?
Yeah.
There's just all these. She's dealing with a really big thing, but like you said, there's that whole image. Riding on a train or whatever.
Yeah.
She's singing it, but she weaves all that together, and then the music is just perfect.
Yeah.
What's happening around those lyrics?
This song in particular is one of those, there's usually albums where there's a certain consistency, but there are tracks that stand apart musically from the rest of it. They fit, but it still stands apart because it's starkly different from the rest of what's on the album, and
Yeah.
this is that track,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Yeah, very good.
So anyways, glad you like that.
Yeah.
And so what have you got for us?
Well, actually, I've brought in. Seems like it's a really strong year for women so far. I mean, we've talked about, Rickie Lee Jones, Florence and the Machine.
Laura Marling.
Laura Marling has
Yeah.
been great. I mean, there's just been some, Joy Williams. We
Yeah.
recently talked about her, and I brought in the second album from Kacey Musgraves. And this is called Pageant Material. This is her sophomore album, and now when she emerged on the scene with her debut, Same Trailer, Different Park, it was kind of a departure from some of the contemporary country music and some of the cliches that, without naming any names, but we're kind of used to a lot of cliches in contemporary country music. We're not talking here about Great Americana like the Fallen Stars or some of the other, Dawes, some of the more kind of groups that have kind of revolted against kind of contemporary country and stuff. But she's kind of like a bridge between
The two.
Between the two. That's what I like. She there's things here that are classical and contemporary, minus the cliche. Maybe the way you would say it.
More creative. I mean, I covered that album on the show
Yeah.
when the first album
You
came out. And
introduced me to her.
I was
Yeah.
the one who I was like, I discovered her. No, but I brought that album on, and I talked about that, how I felt she fit in with modern country, but at the same time she didn't feel contrived. And I think what it is there's a freshness and there was an originality to her lyrics, to the music, and the songs weren't about the same truck ride.
Right, exactly.
Or how we're all, it just wasn't about the same thing. She found different twists on things. Lyrically. It was humorous. It was sardonic.
There's a lot of humor and a lot of. She's very
insightfulness.
Insightful. She's very young. She's obviously in her 20s here and stuff, but yet she already has a keen ability to kind of look at the world around her, even look at herself, and kind of turn everything on its ears, but make music that's accessible and
tremendously accessible.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a gift, and it's great that she's doing it without pandering, kind of just what some of the other young country contemporaries that she has are doing. I mean, when I saw her at Stagecoach this year, she stood very much apart from some of the other young artists that were playing on the main stage. I thought, she wasn't totally retro. She wasn't, unleashing, like you're saying, the same old themes, the same old things about the party girl and this and that.
You got to have a song about this.
Yeah.
You got to have a song about the truck.
Yeah.
You got to have a song about how much you like the flag.
Yeah.
It's like you got to do all the check mark bases that all the other country music artists have to do so they can pander the fan base.
Yeah, exactly.
None of that's with her.
And I like that. So why don't we listen to a little bit of speaking of all these things that we've just been covering, let's listen to a little bit of Dime Store Cowgirl, and then we'll talk about
Okay,
that
cool.
song.
All right.
And maybe for a minute I got too big for my britches, but I'm just a dime store cowgirl. That's all I'm ever gonna be. You can take me out of the country, but you can't take the country out of me. No, 'cause I'm still.
You know, the thing I really like about this song is it's kind of her autobiography so far, you know, from her first album to this, kind of about this quick rise she had, you know, the multiple Grammy winner and all that, and how she's basically raised in a small town in Texas, and all of a sudden she's having her photo with Willie Nelson. She's staying in the room with the ghost of Graham Parsons. I think she's talking about the Joshua Tree Inn in California. She's talking about, you know, Austin City Limits, and it's like, but she's saying ultimately, even though there's a little bit of cliche in there, but it's basically like she recognizes, look, I'm no different than I was when I was probably singing in, you know, in a small little town hall in Texas or somewhere. And here she is, all of a sudden she's having all these amazing experiences, like where I saw her,
Yeah.
which is on the main stage at Stagecoach, playing in front of tens of thousands of people. So, and she can kind of playfully or whatever, kind of look at herself and go, this is kind of crazy, and she's able to get that in her songs, you know, and I think she
Okay.
does that very well.
All right. You've helped me a great deal. Okay, because like
I'm
I said,
glad I did that.
No. I'll tell you, because I was enjoying the song as we were listening to it my first time hearing it. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to hear this album, even though I was the one who brought in the
Yeah.
first album. I didn't have a chance to hear
And
this
thank
one
you for that again.
prior. Oh yeah. I'm glad. And but you know, I was listening to the song. I was enjoying the lyrics, you know, and everything, and enjoying the melody. And then she got to that line of, you know, you can take me out of the country, but you can't take the country out of me.
Yeah.
And I almost wanted to bite a bullet right there. Because I thought, oh gosh, that's just real cliche.
Radio Ready is probably what
you
you're
know,
thinking.
I almost wanted to
yeah.
you know, because I was enjoying so much of it up to that point.
Yeah.
And you know, but now that you put the song in that light, I'm a lot better with it now. I'm a lot better with that. I understand where she's coming from, and you know, and maybe I'm just real. I've been so tired of being beat over the head every time I listen to a modern country song with these tired cliches.
Yeah, exactly.
So overdone that if I hear even a faint amount, even with an artist who I've liked, who's already made me like them, I get kind of
I know.
I start to grit my teeth and start to growl.
Right.
You know. But anyways, I become a Klingon. But anyways, but no, thank you. That helped me. I think future listenings, it will pass by me easier now.
Wow, cool.
Okay,
Good.
so
And
there
listen,
we go.
and if you do decide to get the album, or if anybody here wants
I'm definitely
to
going to hear it because I loved her first album,
Yeah.
so there's no way I'm not going to hear this
Yeah.
album. No way.
Now, it comes, Pageant material comes in a standard jewel case, and there aren't lyrics in the booklet, but I'll show everybody. But it is a very nice package. You know, she talks about the musicians. Oops, if I can hold this here. You know, what is this, an 8-panel? Yeah, so pretty nice here. You know, and nice pictures and you know, very artistic, but just doesn't have the lyrics. But fortunately, the way she sings, you have no problem. You know,
You're
picking
right.
everything
She's
line out.
very articulate.
Very
with
articulate
her,
singer.
You know, she's very good with. I should say she's very good with her articulation.
Yeah.
There are so many vocalists out there. It's like I like their voices, but what did they say?
I know,
can't quite
exactly.
tell.
Yeah, that's
But
not the case here.
You can't miss it. When
First
you're listening
listen,
to her.
you can pick up on what she's singing.
Yeah.
Great, yeah, she's outstanding. And let's do this. Let's listen to another song that's a little bit different, and then we'll talk about
All right,
that
cool,
one.
Yeah, let's check it out.
We all wrangle with religion. We all talk, but we don't listen. We're all starving for attention, and then we run. We're all paper, we're all scissors. We're all fighting with our mirrors, scared we'll never find somebody to love.
And that's Somebody to Love off Kacey Musgraves' Pageant material.
Okay, I'm won over. That was a great song.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Lyrically, amazing. You know, and the thing is, very plain spoken lyrics. It fits that whole country idea of, you know, let's not be too artsy with the lyrics. Let's be very plain spoken about it. But it's beautiful.
It's so powerful too. Yeah, it's not only the music is beautiful, and it's funny. It's just delivered with so much simplicity, but so much power.
Yes.
You know, it's incredible. I mean, what she's done. How, to me, her first album and this one, she's already built up a body of work so much that's so far outdistances a lot of country singers that have maybe have 5, 6, 7 albums under their belt,
Or even a couple, maybe a decade or so.
Yeah,
under their belts.
it's just very impressive, and I hope, I know like the people like us that maybe are definitely like Americana fans.
Yeah.
We like Dawes and the Civil War.
Well, we like country too.
And we do like country too.
We're just tired of all the browbeating,
Oh, yeah.
the cliche browbeating that so much of today's modern country seems to just have to, almost, it's required.
Yeah.
And you can almost, and like I said, you can almost see that there's someone there from the label like, well, make sure you have the song about this,
Yeah.
and there's a checklist we're going to go off
Yeah.
here, make sure you do this,
Yeah.
And we're just tired of that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And I guess there's some people that's that's where they want to go.
I know there's a lot of people that feel a lot of
but
comfort.
I think this can satisfy those people.
Yes.
But also, hopefully, it takes them to a deeper and more rich place. In terms of be a little bit more discerning with the music. You only have so much time on this planet. Why not have some good music to listen to?
Yeah, and
know?
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah,
Couldn't
yeah.
agree. That was really well spoken.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever thought about being a music writer?
I've thought about it.
Yeah,
But I'm
you
not
might
sure.
you might want to look into that. It might be good.
Maybe another
I-
career,
I
who
sense
knows?
potential.
Okay,
I
there we
sense
go.
Potential. Anyways,
Yeah.
But no, thank you for bringing that.
Yeah, thank you
There's
for-
no way I'm not hearing this one because I loved her first album. I just haven't had a chance to. I'm going to look forward to hearing this album.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing the new one from Rickie Jones
Cool.
too. Very, very impressive first listen stuff.
Good.
So I want to check that one out.
Cool. So we want to thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't done so, and if you have, thank you very much. Thank you everybody for sharing the show on Facebook and Twitter. We really appreciate that. And my name's TJR. Check out my music at tjrmusic.com. Drop me an email and I will send you a link for some free MP3s of some of my recordings. And of course you can check out my solo reviews here on the YouTube channel.
And my name's Robert Kinsler. And of course you can read my reviews here at musicworthbuying.com and of course at ocregister.com, desertstarweekly.com, and at musicnewsnashville.com.
Right on.
And if I'm leaving anything out, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Anyhow, we'll see you next time, folks. Thanks for watching.
Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye.